Hi, Jim.
Hey, Dana.
How are you?
I am doing fine. And you?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Your building looks very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
You showed me it over a year ago as what you were planning, but it's come out very nice. I don't know whether you know that, you probably do, or someone should have mentioned it to you, that along the edge of your roof,
Yeah, the roof is going to be done too. So,
okay,
yeah, these contractors are killing me. They're just, they're always too busy. They got too much going on. They don't have help, I guess. I don't know. I don't know which one to believe, but could be a little of everything. But hey,
yeah,
Roger, how you doing? So I got to be patient, and you know, that's in the works. So they fixed some issues I had just to make it weather tight anyway, but it's still not, it's not completed, and it's not done to what they plan on doing. So contractors had some issues down Florida with the thing now. So instead of getting this done before winter, so I mean, they've gotten it tightened up enough where the problems should be fixed, but it's not going to be done until probably the spring now. As soon as
I mean, there should be something temporary because it looks like some of it's ripped off and it's exposing the rubber membrane along the edge, which means it could drive some water up under it.
No, they've looked at that already, so they've taken care of whatever they had and said that, you know, but things look fine right now. So,
Hi, Roger. Roger.
Roger, you got to unmute yourself, Raj.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Nice to meet you today, Jim.
Same. I'm waiting for one member. And that's why we're generally doing this at 4:30 because he works until, well, he's actually been on night shift for a while. Now he's on regular shift. So he should be here shortly. Let me wake him up. Nope, we got him. I didn't know if to wake him up. Everybody's here, Bob.
Okay, and now I'm unmuted.
Now you can bring your face up as ugly
Hey,
as it is.
Bob.
Look at that.
Wow.
All
Look
right.
at that, man. I got a lot more skin up there than I used to have.
That's all right. You can't be ahead of me. I'm already there. So I have to open this meeting, so I gotta start that. And then unless you guys got something to say, I'm gonna bring up a bunch of material you sent me and the issues basically, and I'll go through procedure as well. And this is open to the public, but generally the public doesn't show up. Bob, just so you know, Dana is the owner of the building and Roger basically is the one proposing the sign. And I'm at the end of this, I have a discussion about the existing sign going up basically and what rights Dana has, which will include some sort of notation from us back to the building department. So with that, let me see if I can share my screen. I always have fun with this. And don't know where it went. That's not what I wanted to share.
So you gotta pull it on the screen, Jim. Put it up on the screen what you want to share, and then you got to hit the sharing on the bottom of the Zoom session. Yeah.
All right, that's one item, but that's not what I wanted to start with. Well, let me, everybody has it, so I will just read it. But I have to read this public notice at the same time. And since it's in fine print, I will try and stay away from that. So All right, so this is a design review board meeting, November 7th, 2022, starting at 4:30. Consistent with the governor's orders extending certain provisions of the open meeting law, every effort will be made to allow the public to view and to listen to meetings in real time. If you do not have a camera or a microphone on your computer, you may use the following details in number 1-301-715-8592, meeting ID 825-6838-3158, passcode 7777986. Please only use dial-in or computer and not both, as audio feedback will distort the meeting. This meeting will be audio and video recorded in compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. This location is accessible to people with, if you are persons with disability requiring information on material in any alternate format, you are required any other accommodations, please contact Town Disability Coordinator, William Renault, engineer, 781-246-6308, as far as in advance as event possible. Every effect will be made to grant your request. Advance notice will enable the town to make reasonable arrangements to remove any accessible barriers. So one thing I've got to do is, no, I don't want to get rid of that. I have to turn on. Have to turn that on. Yeah. What I'm looking for is, can't find it. Yeah, well, we're having fun, aren't we? All right, well, I finally got back to where I wanted to be. So I have taken, as I said, and brought up all the images and stuff that I have received. And so I'd like to go through this. Sorry for the delay. The process here is that we review any submission comes in under regulations that set in place in 2010. And within an overlay district, and this building exists within an overlay district. So the image we have before us basically is where this building is right now under the facelift it's going under. I took it a few days ago. And this is what it came from, basically. I've got some more historical photographs, but that's not relevant at the moment. So this is what Dana has basically been working over for a while, and it's coming out quite nice. So the proposal, I guess, the first one anyways, is to put this sign up on the above the second floor, and within the area shown on this between the second and third floor. And as a secondary item, the sign that's on Main Street, to put the original back there. And we'll discuss that a little bit later. So here's what we face basically with this sign. And I believe Roger and Dana, or at least Roger, basically what you want to do is option 2. There were 4 options, I think, that I originally saw. This happens to be option 2. I believe that's what you want to do. Am I right?
That's correct.
Now, the stats for this are as shown, basically 30 inches by 37 feet, which equals to 9.25 square feet. Lettering height being 30 inches, lettering depth being 1 inch, a gold sort of a raised letter system, and set between the second and third floor. There's no actual dimensions as to where that's supposed to reside. I think eventually we'll get to that. No illumination, as I understand, Roger?
No, that's correct.
Okay. And the other piece is not knowing what the length of the building is on that side. The length of any sign basically can't be more than 2/3 the size of the building or the occupancy of that particular level. So
what was that, Jim?
the a sign, let's just say for the moment that a sign is allowed at this level, all right? Then that sign can't be greater than 2/3 of the space or that side of the building. So it doesn't look like it is, but dimensionally, I don't have that information. You may have to provide it eventually. So let me start with where the problems are, all right? One is the wall signs under table 1, which is just below it, cannot be greater than 15 square feet. Now, it's realized by the people that wrote this originally, which I didn't get involved in the writing at all, is 15 square feet. Now, if you think about a 15 square foot, say, sign on Hart's Hardware, that's ridiculous. That's a postage stamp, basically, on the face of the building. And certainly would be a postage stamp if allowed on this building. So what generally happens is you have to go for a special permit from the zoning board to present your case to them for a greater than 15 square foot sign. This has happened many times. I'm hoping with a new bylaw that I've been working on before COVID, that eventually this board will be able to give an answer to an applicant as opposed to having to go through zoning. But at this point, it still exists within the zoning to handle as special permit. The next thing is on that same chart is letters can't be greater than 14 inches high. This is, I believe, 30. Yeah, 30. So that's another item that has to be chased through the ZBA for height of lettering. And I've referenced the sections in here under which these apply in this outline, but in the letter that will get sent out to the building department, because what the building department wants from us, when I say that, the design review board wants approval of that this sign complies. And they would, if that was outright happened, say your letters were 14 inches and your sign was 15 square feet, then they would grant a permit. We can only make a recommendation. We can't grant permits. We don't have the authority to grant permits. All else we can do is tell them that we're in compliance. The next thing down on my list is item 3. Item 3 under 190-100 C1 says basically, where building has a sign banned, any direct applied sign and or raised panel wall must be located in the sign band. Well, you have a sign band, but then you get another issue. In the case of a one-story building, no portion of a wall sign can be located higher than the roof line. And in the case of a multi-story building, no portion of a wall sign can be located higher than the second story floor line. This is above that floor line. It's on the third floor line, probably more likely.
Under the third floor line, over the second floor.
Yeah, but it's not on the third floor line. And then the item C, for business establishment, no ground level display window walls and wall signs are prohibited on a building. So this business doesn't have any display windows, so it's prohibited from having a sign. The next one is probably even more important. Wall signs under 190-100-C.2a, the maximum allowed sign area for walls is forthcoming in table 1, which we all talked about. We also talked about the 2/3 length area, which is the next section. And then business established storefronts multiplied by 1 square foot, and the maximum length of the wall shall not exceed 2/3 of the length of the business, which again is the same thing. Maximum allowed sign area for wall signs, et cetera, to table 1, which we've talked about, provided that the wall sign or the walls shall not exceed 2/3 of the length of the business. Multiple 1 foot square maximum area shall not exceed 2/3 of the length of the business storefront. Now, let me see, I want to find. What it basically is saying here, that you have to be a first floor business to have a wall sign. You cannot have a wall sign for an upper story business. You can have windows, you can have some sort of sign in your window if you've got windows, but then it's limited to the glass area basically. So you need to basically go back, ask the board to get clearance basically to put a sign on the upper levels of the building. So you've got several things to chase.
Yeah. Well,
got-
I mean, you just said I don't need that if my business is on the first floor, right?
If you've got a storefront and your business is on the first floor, and I
Yeah.
don't know that this business is, nobody said that, I just assumed because it's up high.
No, it's on, I'm gonna have first floor storefront too.
All right, for this business.
Yeah.
And how much of that first floor space is being used across the face? I mean, you've got your entry on Albion Street, you got the entry up to the upper level. And then this space you're reopening towards Main Street. And then the original dry cleaner space behind on Albion Street.
Right.
So where is this space going?
Right on 1 and 2 and 3 and 5 Albion Street, and then 377 Main Street would have conference rooms there.
All right, so you're in 2 sides of the building.
Yeah.
Okay, so that being so, the sign would have to be in the sign band. And you're going to have entrances on both sides or entrances on one side?
Both sides.
All right, so if you have entrances on both sides, then you're allowed 2 signs, one on each street, as long as there's entries on both sides, public entrances on either side. You're allowed 2 signs, and you're putting windows on both those sides, so you have display areas. Now, that being the case, you're allowed 2 signs, one on either side, each one being 15 square feet. If you want a larger sign, which I would suggest you go after, because the amount of area that you got on the building basically probably allows you to get something larger, or at least propose something larger. You could have that, but you've got to go to the board and you've got to show them basically something that's larger than 15 square feet. If you had to just do 15 square feet on either face, you're in. You don't need anything but approval from us.
Yeah, so what, do we just get denied now and move on?
Yes.
Okay.
You need to get the, if you're really intending to put it up on the upper levels, then you get it, we need to deny you that. And if you want to be 30 square feet, then we need to deny you that. If
Okay.
you want to have high letters of whatever the height is now, that is exceeding the 14 inches, then you get to deny that. So you need 3 denials basically to cover, which will be in this memo to the building department.
Okay, so we're there. I would assume we're there. The letters are higher than 14 inches, and the sign is the letters going across on the Albion Street side is longer than, I'm not sure. When there are letters like that, what do you count as square footage?
The letters are
Either way, we're gonna be over it, but how do you think of the square footage?
since it's not mounted on a sign board. All right,
Right.
it's freestanding letters, then it's basically the rectangle that encompasses that lettering, which I figure is 92.5 square feet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna have to go to the board because we're definitely, that 15, like you said, that there's, I can't, I can't put up a sign like that. It's just won't look, it will look so unproportional for the building that,
No, and it's well, it's not so much the building, but for the business is, this 15, I don't know where they do the 15 square feet because they went all over different towns and like, but that's what they settled and said, that's what it is. And it's for a 22, 21 square foot or frontage on, which is typically for Main Street, basically. It kind of makes sense, but they've left it where you can go back to a higher authority in the form of the zoning board. And if, so you're going to face location, you're going to face square footage, and you're going to face lettering height.
location, what else?
Location, letter height, and square footage of the sign. You have by right,
Why,
If you
why the location, Jim?
because you basically can't have anything above that second floor line. If you have a sign band, which you do, all right, then they're looking for it to be in the sign band. If you don't have a sign band, there's 2 regulations that play there. One is that you can't be above the second floor line, or you have to match the height of your adjacent building, basically. Be similar to them as long as that building, which is pre-existing, doesn't exceed any of the regulations in this bylaw.
So I'm not sure if the band that goes around the building is considered a sign band or what, but that's fine. So those 3 things, we'll have to just go to the zoning board is what you're saying. So,
Yeah. If you look on this, where my arrow is pointing right now, You've basically got a band there. I know that the last tenant in the dry cleaner area was, their sign was up here, and I think it was more because basically because of the overhang that you had, there was really no good place to put something there. So it ended up right in that area there. But if you look at,
Actually, I just put that over where the previous sign was for the previous renter.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, in theory, it should be in here, but you could have this sign at a smaller scale. You can have it here, and you can also have it there. If in fact that's one whole space, one whole tenant space, basically, and it's got a door and it's got glass, a door and glass, you legitimately can have two signs on a corner lot.
Jim, if a sign band existed above the windows on the second floor, would that be allowed?
No, it can't be higher. It could, it could be right in here because that's about the floor level of that second floor, but it can't be above that floor level.
Well, that's above the floor level, so that won't work either. No, so to go, we're gonna move forward, Jim, whatever it takes to go with what we have these signs for now.
Yeah.
I see something like this. I mean, the color may be different, may be the same. I don't, we haven't finalized that yet, but other than that, this is the layout that we're looking for.
Well, so you go forward with this to the ZBA and be prepared basically to discuss this and present to them. I'm on the zoning board, but I do not vote on this. I will make commentary from this board to the zoning board, basically on it, but that's all. I don't vote. Not that I can't, but it's tradition, basically. I don't vote as a member of this board. So I basically will, this committee will write a note to the building department on this, basically denying you, stating which sections of the code are non-compliant. You can take that then and file with the ZBA for a hearing. And then, Gail will put you on the hearing list, basically.
Okay. All right.
All right, so moving to the next one is, this is the sign that was approved in 2005.
Right.
The proposed sign, as it was, basically 30 square feet. That comes off banners information here. Height is unknown on the letters, but they're all carved letters. And it resided basically between the first and the second and third floor, as shown here.
Mhm.
Now, you have rights to repair this sign. Say it was faded, you don't want to repaint it. It's got to be repainted and look exactly like the original one. It can't be changed in any way, shape, or manner. Once you change the character of this, in any way, shape, form, message, then it's a new sign. And you got the same problem that you have with the other one. If you keep it exactly the way it is, and you've taken it down basically to do the facelift, then you have the right to put it back up exactly where it was.
Okay.
But change anything else about it, and then you just triggered yourself into the new code.
Really nothing to change, Jim. I mean, it's a sign, it's got hand carvings, it's got gold leaf lettering, so there's nothing to really change.
Well, other than you might want to spruce it up, basically same color, whatever. You know,
There's really nothing to spruce up. It looks just like it does there now, other than it just needs to be washed.
okay, all right. Then a secondary memo will be written from this board that basically says that tells the building department, as far as we're concerned, this is within the compliance. And the sections will be quoted to him as to what this applies to. We've done this with, I think I've done it on one other project dance studio or someplace like that on Main Street has basically pulled hers down and put it back up. Actually, a travel agency on Main Street, basically, Sue, hers was, it was metalwork and like, and was rotting a bit, so it got replaced exactly the same. So we've done two, I guess, where we allowed them to put the signs back up.
If I wanted to turn around and not use that sign, but do the same thing or whatever, and just do like I'm doing on the Albion Street side with the lettering, then that would have to go through the zoning board, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And if you're gonna, I mean, it would be good, because we've got to make recommendations eventually to the zoning board. So if after this meeting, you and Roger are going to talk some, strategize or whatever, we might have to have another meeting, because whatever I write to the zoning board is going to be what you've told me at this time and what has been presented will go into my memo. But if you're going to change it, or I suppose if you had an alternate and you wanted to present it to the zoning board, I guess you could do it. But it would be better if we had the opportunity to support or not support, I guess, what you intend to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was just an option I'm thinking, but I really don't feel like going to buy a new sign anyway. So there's, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the sign other than it's a lot easier to just wash a sign, Jim, than turn around and buy a new one, right? For now, anyway, I think I've
Yeah,
spent
right now it
enough
is.
money on this project, to be honest with you, that we're well over budget. So, and we had a good budget for it. So things are, right now, I don't, where I don't see any issues with the sign. Color is not faded. The gold leaf lettering looks as good as it does. It looks as good now as it did when I just bought it. I guess that was the benefit of going with the gold leaf lettering, which I guess a lot of places don't even do that anymore. So even if I was to kind of replace it, I wouldn't be able to get the gold lettering done as well as it is already. So I think that's the plan. We'll just stick with that sign.
Okay, all right.
And, you know, we'll go with the Albion Street side. So I think the Albion Street side, the sign was kind of larger. So I think we're going with the, Roger, correct me if I'm wrong, we're going with the smaller lettering, correct?
On the Albion Street
Yeah,
side,
so this lettering was kind of big here, Jim, right
Yeah.
there, that top one. This one here, I think. Yeah, that was kind of big. What's the lettering size on that, those letters?
Looks like 45.
Yeah, it's not too clear on my thing, so
Oh,
I'm
I'm
not
sorry,
sure.
it's 37 or so, or something like that. I can't read it myself very well.
Oh, okay.
I
Let's
think
see, I might even have that.
40, yeah, I see 45.
Yeah, that's a little bit more than we wanted. I think we just wanted the other side. I think it looks pretty good. With just the yellow, just the yellow was a little smaller. Is that not correct?
The 45 is actually I guess the distance between the head of the window and the underside of the molding.
Oh, okay. All right.
And down there on the side of it, basically, I think it says 37 as far as lettering. This is
30.
This is 30.
30.
This is 30. This looks like 36. And that's another 36. And see here, Dana, is a case where in fact, that's whole sign would be the size of it, whereby when you've got just lettering, it's the freestanding lettering
Yeah.
that is the area.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, either way, we're putting in, we will obviously got to go to the zoning board. So, at this point, I want to do what's going to look right for the building and look right for the neighborhood. What's going to look nice. So, hold on. See.
it's more consistent with that upper graphic.
Well,
Here it is.
consistency,
The first sign is 45. And this is The sign was 45.
It's 30 inches for the sign itself. It's 45 between the space between the upper and lower sections.
Oh, yeah, so the 30, oh, okay, so yeah, the sign, the letters are 30 inches. Right, yeah, all the letters are 30 inches, okay. Yeah. And then this one with the sign is 36 inches high. Yeah. Yeah. So, very good.
Like Dana said, we're looking for a sign that fits the building, it has good aesthetics. And it's suitable for that, the design of that building. There's a lot of large signs in the neighborhood. On Main Street, across the street. And, we're looking to have a sign that's consistent, a consistent look with the other businesses.
Well, to talk about things that are within the area, all right, some of those are pre-existing, so we don't have any control of them, just like Dana's sign in the front of the building, basically. As long as he keeps it there, he's grandfathered, and he's allowed to repair basically his building or his sign, but it has to be as it was, perfect, basically, in all ways. There are signs in the neighborhood, basically Dollar Tree, for instance, which went through the zoning board to get approval of the signage there, and the developer for that project basically got approval on Dollar Tree signs, but also at the same time got size approval, even though they didn't know what the sign were going to be for the tenant at the time, got an area approved above the 15 square feet. So it's the board understands that 15 square feet doesn't fit every building. In fact, in the future, if I ever get this new sign bylaw finished with Steve Mayo, there will be a chart where, depending on how much frontage you've got on the street, that chart will tell you how big your sign can be. And if you don't like what it says, then again, and that will be automatic. If you live within that larger sign based on footprint, and it will be much greater than 15 square feet. If you live within that chart, you're fine. If you don't like what the determination of this board is in the future, then you still can go to the zoning board basically and argue your point.
Okay, so how do we get on the agenda? Jim, is that the next step, to get on the agenda for the zoning board?
Your next step basically is going to be filed for a permit in combination basically with the fact that I'm going to be putting something out here denying you, and then you fill out you basically have the building department will then deny you a permit for your sign. And then you get paperwork from Gail basically to file that information in a form, which will ask you for the sections that you are filing for. And that will be in my outline basically. So you get a copy of that, and then you'll know what you're chasing. All right.
Okay.
Bob, I've sort of written you out here. Anything you want to add?
I think you've said it all.
Yeah. Probably.
I think these guys want to get to bed tonight, so.
I don't want to leave. That's fine. I just want to get going on this and get it resolved, so.
Yeah, no, I don't, you haven't said anything that I don't agree with. I don't take exception to anything that I've heard, and I don't see any insight that I can lend to this that will change anything. So I think you've said it all. I think we're good.
Thanks. Let's see. So what you should know about the zoning board. Unfortunately, you're entering the 2 months that have holidays in them. Generally, the zoning board meets twice a month. And this month and next month, they only meet once a month. one because of Christmas and one because of Thanksgiving. So you need to get this filed quickly, but
Right.
I think you're gonna end up in the December hearing. All right, but you don't let it lax. Gail can tell you basically what the filing dates are. Because you have to be in a few weeks ahead of time filing your request.
So we're gonna go to the building permit to file a request for signage.
Yes, you need to you need to ask for a sign permit, fill out the paperwork for that sign permit, attach the drawings that are appropriate to the sign, the detailed drawings, option 1 or 2, whatever it is, all the information on the sign itself attached to that. There'll be questions about the size of the sign and what the construction of the sign is, and the sign off from the owner, which will be you, of course. And then the the building inspector will deny the permit. You take that denial along with the request, and you get Gail to give you the paperwork for filing for a special permit. Then she'll give you, eventually she'll give you a date as to when the hearing will be.
So the special permit is the group that meets twice a month normally, but once a month for November and December.
No, the zoning board meets. The special permit is basically granted on those items that you do not comply with. So for instance, say you don't want a 15 square foot sign, you want a 50 square foot sign. You're asking for a 50-foot sign. They'll give you a special permit to allow you to do that.
But, okay, so when do I need to be denied from the zoning board first
No,
and then apply
no.
for the,
No, you need to be denied by the building inspector.
by the building inspector? So I just I'll bring that to him, and they don't have he'll just deny it right away or
Yep.
whatever, a day or two?
Yeah, and with that denial, basically you attach that with the zoning hearing request for a special permit. Feel free to email me with any questions.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So you're gonna you'll give us a denial based on certain things. Then we're gonna go to the building inspector to file for a permit with the building department for a sign permit, in which case then we'll get denied. Then we take that denial and go to Gail.
You get
So
you get a piece of paper for a special permit, filing with the zoning board, requesting a special permit on this one particular sign. Don't get it mixed up with the existing condition sign. You're only dealing with one sign in this case.
Right. So, okay,
I don't believe you need a permit to rehoist your old sign up.
right. So Gail works in the building department?
Gail works for the building department. She also is the secretary for the zoning board.
All right, I think we got that. Okay, so we will,
In the next day or so, I will have produced a memo to the building department basically denying this project.
okay. And
Well,
in the
it's not
meantime,
so much denying, I basically can't under the regulations approve this project, all right?
Yeah.
So, and
it-
I will also note that you will be going for a special permit with the zoning board to chase 3 or 4 items, basically. I'll list what they are.
right. So in the meantime, tomorrow I can apply for a permit with the building department.
Yes.
for a
you-
sign.
Yes,
I should probably get that done, right?
yes.
Okay,
And move it along as fast as you can. Because there may be bumps along the way, you know?
okay. I'll take care of that and then we'll expect something from you within a couple of days and then we'll file that. We'll go to the building department and get that denied and then we'll get his write-up and then we'll give that to Gail to get on the agenda maybe for December, hopefully maybe even November, who knows? You know the dates of those meetings, Jim?
Yes, I do.
November and December?
Let me look it up. I'll tell you in just a minute. Let's see. The 16th of November is when the hearing is. But you have to have applied for a hearing by the 18th of October. So you've missed that one.
Okay, and then December,
Is the 14th of December is when the hearing is. You have to get filed by the 15th of November. So you got 8 days.
very good. We'll get going on that this tomorrow. I think I'm all set. If I have any questions, Jim, can I reach out? Can I talk? Can I call you somewhere or is there?
Just email me basically, and if we need to meet and talk or whatever, we can do it after that.
I think, Roger, you got it seems pretty basic. We can get moving on this tomorrow, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
not a
Okay.
problem.
Yeah, I don't think I think we'll be good to move along, Jim. I just was wondering, that's fine if I had a quick question or something like that, that's all. But I
No.
think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine and I'll reach out to Gail and give her what she needs to move forward. So we'll get on that. Hopefully we can get on that for December's agenda.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Bob, thanks for getting up in time. Sorry you had to cut your sleep show. What do you work, a midnight shift?
Oh, no, I'm not still doing the night shift now. I'm on the day shift, so
Oh, yeah,
I was
day
home in
shift.
plenty of time.
Where do you work?
I just look like I just woke up.
No, I'm just going by what Jim said. So
No, he's,
where do you work?
I'm a construction inspector for the T on railroad work that they're doing on the north side of the city.
Oh, that's keeping you busy these days, working with the
Yeah,
team
today-
doing that, huh? Yeah.
It's federally mandated signal upgrades that is lasting over several years. And like today I was in Haverhill. Last couple of weeks I've been in Andover. So,
Very good. And where do you live?
White Ave, kind of.
In
Actually a couple of
Wakefield.
blocks away from Jim.
So you just mosey on over to the train tracks there and you just shoot up the up north to Haverhill and that's pretty
Well,
good.
not exactly. Yeah.
No?
I'm looking forward to when the work gets closer because when they get to Reading, there's going to be a lot going on.
Oh, yeah.
So my commute is getting better and better. So,
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. It's not too bad though from Wakefield to Andover.
no, I've been
That's not bad.
even on the North Shore. We just finished doing that. We've been doing that for like about the past year. Going out to Fitchburg was longer. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
a little more of a ride.
Yeah,
But
that's
the whole line that goes out to Newburyport and Gloucester, most of the time I had like half an hour or less commutes.
Yeah. Plus you're
Going
going away
into
from
Boston,
traffic. Yeah,
going
yeah.
into Boston, it was only 11 miles to my office or even less. And it was, I'd get in by 6 a.m. It would take me 22 minutes door to door. Then going home would take me over an hour. And
know.
on Fridays, it could take me 2.
I know, crazy. So at least if you're going out to Gloucester and Newburyport and all that, that's all, you're going against traffic. So that's easy.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Both
And
ways you're going against traffic.
No, I've got no complaints. It's it's low stress and low traffic.
Good, very good. All right,
And-
I'm sorry to bother your lunch, your dinner. I appreciate your time.
Oh, it's
Tim,
okay.
thank you for everything. I appreciate your help and we look forward to working with you guys.
All right, I gotta close this now, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let-
just put, you go
Let
to
Bob
end here.
catch up with daylight savings time.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, good night.
All right,
Thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
See you, Roger.
Yeah, all right, thanks.
Jim, do you need anything from me?
no, but let me just close this thing. So this, it's 5:19. We're closing on the design review meeting for 377 Main Street. We'll follow up with some paperwork. All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jim. We'll see you. Gotta find out. There we go.